All right, welcome back, class. Yesterday, we all did our 5-minute presentations on the different acts passed by the British government and the effects they had on the colonies. And I thought you guys all did a really good job of explaining what the acts were and how they influenced American independence. So today, we're actually going to look at the Declaration of Independence and compare it to the Declaration of the Rights of the Man and the Citizen, which was a document drafted in France during the French Revolution, which should be reviewed from your guys' world history class last year. So what I'm going to have you guys do is go ahead individually, you each have a document that has been passed out to you. Go ahead and take the next 10 minutes. And I want you to read through it and underline or circle or highlight whatever you need to do. Anything that you feel is important, anything that reflects the ideologies we've discussed in class, or any quotes that you feel characterize the American independence or French Revolution. Okay, is that enough time for you guys? Okay, so obviously in a real class you'd have the full 10 minutes. I'm going to have you guys go ahead and you're going to find a person that has the same document as you do. And I want you guys to discuss what you felt were the important ideas and quotes and ideologies in your documents.
And
And go ahead and take the next 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes discussing this.
Okay, so what I found between the two of them is that there's a lot of similarities between the Constitution, or I guess Declaration of Independence, and this Declaration of
And just
I thought it was really interesting how they included the like the religious context of like do another what should not be done to you. It's kind of interesting. It shows to me that there was a very kind of religious background in the government and the country itself.
He was the one in charge of the government.
A lot of this stuff is talking about like laws free, all men are equal, everyone has the same, whether protects or punishes, everyone's equal, blah blah blah. But knowing from the context, knowing like from the time period, we know that that simply really isn't true. I mean, slavery wasn't really precedent in Europe. However, men and women weren't necessarily mostly equal either. So I just think it's really interesting how they have the same wording, but it's not. It doesn't mean the same thing.
And all of the things that were needed to basically.
That is on 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's when it starts talking about it, but it specifies like man. It doesn't say people. It's a man. It says citizens. It also talks about equally eligible for public employments, which I thought is pretty cool because that means that no matter who they are, they can apply for a job.
All right, let's bring it back up to the front. Now, with your partners, I'd like you guys to cooperate and decide what the two of you think are the 3 most important ideas in each of your documents. And go ahead and write those on the back of the handout that I passed out.
Government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or
the right
to
of the
abolish
people
it.
to alter rights.
Or wait, or that one in society is common welfare. The first 3 are really kind of like the most, because they're the most broad.
Okay. All men are created equal. rights are.
So, all men are created equal?
Sure.
Okay. And I would say that not one man should rule the government.
You guys have your three. You guys have your three.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do.
All right, perfect. Now, with your partner, I'd like you to find another pair of students that has the opposite or the different document. So go ahead and be a group.
Hi, guys.
And now, in that group, I would like you guys to take turns discussing what you each thought were the three most important things in your documents and explain why you chose those three things.
Okay. Do you guys want to go first?
Sure. So we picked aim of society as common welfare, all men are created equal, and equality, liberty, justice, security, and property are the rights guaranteed by this document.
Okay.
And we picked those because we talked about like they're all pretty broad, so they all kind of like cover what needs to be covered. They're not super specific, so it's pretty easy to like look at them and say, okay, well, you know, you can really stem a lot of stuff out of this document and those three big statements.
Yeah. We had, it's the right of the people to alter or abolish the government if it's like going bad and institute new government, so if they feel like they're being, yeah. And our number 2 was all men are created equal, and then number 3 is not one single man should rule the government, which that kind of covered a lot of it, because it goes on a lot about how all the injustices the king of Great Britain had put on them, and then went on about like the rights of the people and how all men are created equal. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to come back together as a whole class?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you guys have had the opportunity to discuss, you know, kind of compare and contrast and look at the different ideologies in the two different documents, let's talk about the Declaration of Independence. What are some things in the Declaration of Independence that were different from the Declarations of the Rights of the Man?
Ours talked a lot about the government, so like the rights of the people in the government and their right to like alter and abolish it and institute new government.
Okay, good. Anything else?
It listed a lot of things that the King of Great Britain was doing, so I'll just maybe giving examples of why they felt that they needed a new government. Like the tyranny.
Thank you, that's the word I was looking for. Okay. Anything else you guys can think of? Okay, are we ready to move on to the Declaration of the Rights of Man? All right, anything on the Declaration of Rights of Man that is unique to that document?
Yeah.
I think it's more geared towards just like the citizens and people in general, not the government, but like men in general.
It says on here, education is needed by all, which puts an emphasis on the well-being and the education of their country.
Good. Anything else? Okay, are we ready to move on to similarities, do we think?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What are some things that were similar in both documents?
They talked about how all men being created equal.
There's definitely like religious subtext in both
Okay.
documents.
anything else?
There's an emphasis on equality, liberty, and like freedom of speech is in there too.
Okay, good job, guys. I think this is a pretty good list. Obviously, if it was real classroom, we'd go a lot more in depth, have a lot more time to get to some of the more nitty-gritty things. But okay, so what I'm going to have you guys do is finish up filling out your Venn diagram and your notes, and I'm going to have you guys turn them in to me just so I can check and make sure you guys all understand what's happening. See if there's anything else we need to go over tomorrow, and I will pass these back so you have them to study for your test.